KiDSCOR leaders. My name is Nick Ransom, and I want to kick off this training video with two thank yous, and they're both for you. First, I want to thank you for serving. I know there's all kinds of things going on, all kinds of different things pulling you in different directions, different commitments, and yet you have made serving in KiDSCOR a priority, and we are grateful for that. KiDSCOR can't exist without amazing volunteer leaders like you, and so we are incredibly grateful for you. So thank you for doing that. I also want to say thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video and becoming a better leader, because we hope after you watch this, you will become a better leader. When you become a better leader, KiDSCOR gets better, kids have a better experience here, they get to know Jesus better, all because we take a few minutes just to say, hey, how can I be the best leader that I can to kids, whether they're in nursery, whether they're in early childhood, or whether they're in elementary. So when we try to get better, it's actually helping them get to know Jesus. So how amazing is that? So thank you for watching the video, and thank you for serving. If you haven't noticed already, I've been around KiDSCOR for a while. And one of the things I've realized as I look back in some of my time at KiDSCOR is there are some things that were super cool for just a few moments in time, and then they've kind of just disappeared. For example, the dab. I remember looking back and there's some pictures from a few years ago, everyone was dabbing in our pictures at KiDSCOR. Now no one does that, right? Or fidget spinners. Fidget spinners were huge just a few years ago. And now they're still around, but not as big of a thing. And there are numerous other things. Songs are a great example too. I know songs that were super popular that now no longer are, that great, and you hear them in grocery stores as oldies, right? However, when it comes to KiDSCOR and what we want kids to experience, there are actually three generational things that we want kids to experience that we think are timeless, that don't change, that we want kids to experience. And I want to share those three things with you. The first one is a relationship with God based on faith in Jesus. The second one is a sense of purpose that comes with following God. And number three, a genuine connection with people who care. Let me read those again. Number one, a relationship with God based on a faith in Jesus. Number two, a sense of purpose that comes with following God. And number three, a genuine connection with people who care. And now when you hear those things that we want kids to experience here in KiDSCOR, no matter their age, we realize that what we all do, what you do as volunteers, it really matters. And so I want to just tell you how you can make things matter even more, all right? And I'm gonna give you just three ideas here for you to take away. And I hope after you hear these things, you're like, yeah, what I do matters. It is important to help kids know God through Jesus, to help them find a sense of purpose through following Jesus, and that I can be part of creating a genuine connection with them. So first thing I want you to know is what you do matters when you make it count. What you do matters when it make it count. So what does that mean? That means taking a little bit of time prior to Sunday or whenever you're serving to read over the lesson plan for the day. It means how to make it count. You're going to engage with kids through the whole service, even if you're feeling tired and the sermon's going a little bit long. It means you are going to get down on their level. It means you're going to connect and engage with kids. Because when you make it count, what you do matters, and it matters even more. The second thing is what you do matters when you don't think it counts. Now, we've all had these days coming out of KiDSCOR. If you haven't, you will. When you just led, you're like, boy, that was just pure and utter craziness, right? I've had those. And you're like, does this even really matter? And I just want you to know that it does matter, even when you don't think it does, all right? So you're in a room and there's mostly crying going on, or you're in a room and the kids aren't listening, or they're not paying attention at all, or you don't get through what you want to get through, or you have this vision after preparing and getting ready to make it count, it doesn't go the way you're hoping for. And you're thinking, oh man, does this even matter? And I'm here to tell you, what you do matters, even when you don't think it counts. Even when you don't think it counts, it matters, all right? And the final one is, what you do matters when you repeat it week after week after week. One of the things I've noticed is, and it's pretty obvious, right, is that the more you're here in KiDSCOR, the more you're connecting with kids, the greater the experience is for you, and the greater the experience is for the kids. Some of the leaders that have had the greatest connection are the ones that are here consistently, showing up for the kids, getting to know the kids, engaging with them. And when they do that, repeated week after week after week, they see what they do. It really matters, right? And so I would really encourage you, if you're serving already on a regular basis, to continue doing that. Thank you so much. But if you're like, you're still on the fence, not sure, that I can just ask you to move towards maybe even serving on a regular basis. And when we say regular, it's at least 2 times a month. And if you can make your commitment higher, that's great. Because what we know is when you repeat it week after week after week, what you do, it matters, and it matters even more. How do I know all this? Because I am a what I would say, a result of someone who realized that what they did really matters. So if you're looking on the screen right now, you are going to see a picture of Mr. Nick as an elementary student. There he is wearing those wonderful black gloves, standing in front of what we call a TV, and yeah, looking pretty cool. When I was in elementary school, I had a teacher at a church, and her name was Mrs. Collins, and she was an amazing person, right? And here's what I remember from Mrs. Collins. She really cared about us. She really wanted to connect with us, and she liked us, right? So one of the things, how did I know that? Well, we all like to eat in the class, and keep in mind, this was a really small church, 6 or 7 kids. And one of the things she would always do is we'd have, well, I don't know if it's always, but we'd always have breakfast, right? She'd always organize breakfast, and we were all in charge of bringing different things. If you saw that picture, there was also a picture of bacon. I was in charge of bringing the bacon. Someone was bringing in, donuts. Someone was bringing in the juice. She'd bring in pancakes or waffles and real maple syrup, of course, because we were in Vermont. And she brought all this, and we had these breakfasts together all the time, or at least it felt like all the time. And then we'd play like Bible trivia games, and we'd hang out and do a lot of social things. And what I knew was Mrs. Collins, she cared about me. She realized what she was doing mattered, and she did it week after week after week. She did it even when she thought it didn't count, and she wanted to make sure those moments count. And because of Mrs. Collins and other leaders that were in my life, I'm probably here where I am now, working with kids and engaging with them and helping them get to know Jesus better. So I've seen it firsthand how what you do can matter. So I hope that's an encouragement to you as we now go into more of this training video with some more details based on where you're serving, as far as if you're serving in early childhood or nursery or elementary. We'll get some of those details there. But as you listen to those things, and as we go through the school year, I hope and I pray that you'll keep in mind the big picture, that what you do matters, that there are generational things, experiences that we want kids to have. We want them to know God through Jesus. We want them to have a sense of purpose by following God, and have deep connections with people that really care about them, which is all of us. So I'm going to end the way I started. Thank you for serving. Thank you for getting better as a leader. Thank you for showing up and making a difference in the lives of kids. So now enjoy the rest of the training. You may click on the different chapters in the YouTube description to find the video you should be watching based on the age group you are serving. So have a great day. Go Teams KiDSCOR. I'll see you soon.
Hi everyone, welcome to elementary training via YouTube video, and my name is Mr. Mike, and so glad to have you here with us as a part of our fall kickoff training. So just want to let you know a few things number one, we do have a room downstairs if you're not aware of. It's called our volunteer lounge. It's right inside the doors from the foundry in the KiDSCOR area, room 114. We have snacks, drinks, coffee, juice, that kind of stuff, and we have nice couches for you to just relax on, whatever. So feel free to go there either before or after your time here. Just make sure if you go before that you make it up to our huddle time. Huddle times start at 35 minutes or 25 minutes before the hour starts. So that would be like at 8:35 for the 9 o'clock, at 10:35 for the 11 o'clock. 5 o'clock is a little bit different, kind of whenever you guys get there, but make sure you're there at huddle time before, a little bit before even, so that we can start right on time. So all I want to let you know too is that starting on time, right? That's a very important thing. So we want to make sure you start as closely as possible at 9 or at 11. We know kids are coming in, transitioning in and out, so you can give it a few minutes, but we want to start as quickly as possible because we've lined things out and spaced them out in a timing fashion to give you that time to go through that stuff before you have to transition. For example, if you're starting out in a small group and you're going to do all this stuff and then you're going to transition into a large group area, or vice versa, if you start in a large group and you're going to transition to a small group, you need to keep on track with everything that's going, whether it's music for a large group or the opening activity or the Bible story, to make sure you stay on, or else you're going to throw everything off. The transitions from small group to large group, because we use sometimes the same space, for example, for second, third, and fourth, and fifth. So make sure that you start on time and try to make sure you go through and stay on track. So also, I'm checking in. When you're checking kids in, we have new books, one book instead of multiple books. It says 9 check in, 9 check out, 11 check in, 11 check out. Make sure you're on the right tab when you're putting those stickers in those books. And again, we have a 4 sticker system because required. The first 2 are the ones that are exactly the same. One goes in the book, one goes on the back on the kiddo, and I say on the back of them, in that part of the back that's really hard to get to, where there's always that itch. Make sure you put it there. That way it doesn't end up on the floor or someone's shoe or someone's hair, something like that. So it's fine, it's better. So, and then the other one, make sure it goes in the book. There's 6 spots for that, and make sure you put it above. There's a note spot, so make sure you put it above there in case you want to make a note about that kiddo. And then check out, those also checkouts, not as big a deal, but just pick up the pickup slip from the parent and one on the back of the kiddo, pull those off, match them up, make sure you can see the 3 numbers box up there, make sure that we can tell it's the same stickers, put that together, slap it in the checkout. Don't have to be quite as precise on that, just make sure that we get it in the checkout book and not putting those in the check-in book. So I'll make sure also when you're in the classroom to engage with those kiddos, listen to them, engage them in what's going on, and just listen for how their weeks were, ask them some of those questions. Because like those first 5 minutes when they're coming in and the last 5 minutes that you have with them are really critical times, particularly not just for the kiddo, but for those parents who are dropping them off. They see you interacting with those kiddos, and sometimes you may need to interact with the parents too, just to kind of continue building that relationship. So make sure those last 5 minutes are times that you're putting a lot of focus on and focusing on the kids and the parents that are dropping them off. So. We also have at the end of our time, we're trying to free time at the very beginning. At the end, when they're getting ready to pick up, we're trying to go away from the free time. So pick all those games up, put them away, out of sight, out of mind, and do some activities. We're going to put some extra lessons in there, possibly. If not, we have these little boxes here. There's some extra games. There's some 4 or 5 cards in there that have games that have no prompts. And you can do that with them. So make sure you kind of do something like that, or if you have something you come up with, you can do as well. Just something more structured so that when a parent comes back, they just don't see them running around the room like they were when they dropped them off and think that's the only thing that was on in the classroom. We want to make sure that we're sending some type of positive message that there is actually some learning going on here. So try to make sure we focus on that in those last 5 minutes or in those times for pickup. So we also have some kids, we know you're going to have some behavioral issues, just like that, always going to happen. There are some sheets in the very back of your crate that will give you some ways to, it'll tell you what the behavior is and how you can turn that around by redirecting and do some things. So try those, look at those, try them. If they don't work, don't hesitate to put something in the group chat saying you need me to come down to your room, and I'm happy to come down and talk to the kiddo about that, and we'll go from there. So there are some other things too that we'll do some training on, for example, things like fire drills and tornado drills and intruder drills. Those things will be coming at a later time, as well as some additional training about like how the best way to lead a classroom and how to most effectively get stuff out of the curriculum, those types of things. So by any means too, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the group chat or ask myself or Nick on Sundays when you're here. We'll be happy to help you. So we're so glad that you're a part of our team. So many great things planned for this fall with these kiddos, and we're so excited that you are with us and going to make an impact. So have a great week. Thanks for being here.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I am the Early Childhood Program Director, which means that I get to do all fun things for 2, 3, and pre-K kids. First off, I want to thank you for being a part of the KiDSCOR team. And secondly, I want to give you some information today that hopefully will equip and inspire you for the journey ahead serving in KiDSCOR. The first thing I want to talk about is the best way for you to prepare for your day. That happens before you even get to church. The most important thing to do to prepare is to read through your lesson plan and the email that I send you out on Friday. That will have an important pieces of information that you read through, so when you show up on Sunday, you will be ready to focus on the kids. The other things you can do to prepare ahead of time is to pray for the kids, and then to remember to communicate with me if you're going to be gone or if you have some questions or concerns. All right, then it's Sunday, the big day is here. So what do you do to prepare for that? Well, the first thing you can do is meet me in what we affectionately call the VIP room. That's where I'm at right now. This is where we come to have fellowship and food, and then at 25 minutes before the service, so that would be 8:30, 10:30, or 4:40. At that point, we'll give you some information that'll equip you for the day, and we will pray over you before you head to your classrooms. All right, I think we're ready to go. Let's go check out one of our classrooms. Now we've made it to one of our classrooms. Here you'll see what it'll look like when you come on Sundays. If you look on the counter, you'll see you have your lesson activity bin, and you'll also have a closing activity bin. This is everything that you're going to need for class today. In your lesson activity, you'll see the plan for the day with a list of supplies. One of the first things you're going to want to do before the kids get here is to make sure all the supplies are in your bin. Once you've done that, you can talk to the other teachers in your classroom and divide up the responsibilities between all the teachers, since there is not really a lead teacher. Next thing that you're going to do is you can pray for the kids, or just wait for the stickers to print. And once the stickers start printing, that's when the real fun begins. And one thing I'll say about that is once the kids walk in that door, the first thing you want to do is focus on them. And you want to keep the focus on them throughout the class time. So by knowing that your lesson supplies are all here and you know the lesson plan, that will happen. All right, so the stickers have started printing. As I said, the fun's going to begin. One person's going to be out at the counter doing check-in. And we ask that that person is either a staff person or the person that knows the kids the best, probably a weekly person helping with the kids. The other person's job is just as important. You're inside the classrooms helping the kids engage when they walk in the classroom. One of the best ways to get them engaged is there will always be an activity out on the tables called our welcome time activity. A lot of times that's something that we do with stickers or stamps, lots of fun crafty things. So sit down at the table and have lots of fun and help the kids engage. Other kids might want to play with the toys throughout the room, and that's great too. After about 15 minutes when check-in is done, that's the time when you're going to want the kids to clean up and get ready for the fun ahead. So make it a fun thing, say it's time for cleanup, have the kids clean up, and then you're going to gather for what we call friendship time. In Friendship Circle, the most important about that time is that you call each child by name, and we'll have an activity to help you do that. It's very important for kids to hear their names to help them feel comfortable, and it's a great time for sharing. Other things that you're going to do in the class, you're going to have a couple of activities to help teach them the bottom line of the day. And the bottom line is probably one of the most important things to teach them. This month, our bottom line is God loves you no matter what. So that would be something that the kids will hear over and over again during class time. The other fun thing that our 3-year-olds and our pre-K kids get to do is they get to go to worship time. Yes, that means you get to line up at the door, travel down the hallways to a fun place called Treehouse Park. One thing we ask that you do before you leave is count the kids. Take your attendance notebooks and give the kids expectations of using walking feet as you go down the hallway. Another great tip is to have them go touch a wall and draw pictures on the wall up and down, or maybe play follow the leader. This will help keep them from running ahead of you and losing kids. Once you get to Treehouse Park, there'll be somebody there that will be leading worship for you. So your job is easy. You get to hang out with the kids and have lots of fun. When they see you having fun and singing and dancing to the songs, they're going to want to do that too. Your other big responsibility is to help redirect the kids. The worship leader's job is to lead the kids. Your job is to keep the kids where they need to be, enjoying and worshiping God. And of course, when you leave to go back, make sure you count the kids again. Nobody gets left behind. And then when you get back to your classroom, count the kids again. You'll see that we don't want to lose any kids, and that's why the counting is important. Another thing I want to mention is at the very end of the day, one of the most important times is ending your day well. And so the best way to do that is to keep the toys put away and to end with an organized activity. And we have a great thing that's going to help you with this. It's called the closing activity bin. In that bin is going to be some supplies like a parachute, a ball, some bubbles, and a lot of ideas of what you can do with those. So find one of those fun activities to do with the kids, or maybe you just want to have a dance party. That's fun too. Whatever you do, just make sure it's an organized activity that all the kids are involved in. Okay, I just have a couple more things to tell you. So let's take a look and head somewhere else. Can you guess where we are now? If you said Treehouse Park, you're right. This is where we do our praise and worship time. And as I mentioned, I just have a couple more things to tell you to help assure that you have a wonderful day serving in KiDSCOR. The most important safety thing to know is that you should never be alone with a child. Secondly, there's always questions about the bathroom. So some bathroom procedures is that you should never be in the bathroom with the child. If a child needs to go to the bathroom and is fully potty trained, you can open the door, let them go inside. When they get done, encourage them to come back out, but just make sure you don't go in the classroom with them. If there's a potty accident Or if a diaper needs to be changed, that's not for you to do, that's for a staff person. Another thing that we want you to know is about medical emergencies. For the most part, a Band-Aid fixes most of the situations, and Band-Aids can be found in your cabinets or in your red safety backpacks. As far as other emergencies like fire, tornadoes, intruders, we have policies and procedures for all of those, and a staff member would guide you, and there's always a handbook nearby somewhere in your classrooms. All right, just a couple more things, and probably one of the most important things is to know that you are never alone. There's always a staff person nearby, so if you have a child who's struggling in the class and you don't know what to do, or maybe you have extra time at the end of class and you need help figuring out an activity, make sure you call on a classroom staff person to help you out. Now, the most important thing for you to know is to have fun. If you have fun, the kids have fun, and we all have fun. So keep that in mind as you're in KiDSCOR. Again, thank you for what you do in KiDSCOR. There's no way we could do this without you. You are helping build faith foundations for these kids and making memorable moments and letting them know that Jesus loves them so much.
Hi, I am Danielle, your volunteer and connections coordinator here in the nursery. I'm going to go over a few things for you to know to have a great day serving in KiDSCOR. Number one would be check your emails. I send them out every Friday. There you would see information about what is going on that week for KiDSCOR. I will also have names of those who are serving that week and any other information that you may need to help you have a great day. Here we have the VIP lounge. This place was created specially for leaders like yourself. It is a great place for food and fellowship right before service begins. After your time in the VIP lounge, let's head over to the hallway. Okay, welcome to the hallway. This is where we will have huddle before service begins. Here we will go over what classrooms you will be assigned to and who you will be serving with. I will also hand out a copy of the curriculum so that you can go over just before service begins. Let's go on to a classroom. Once you're in the classroom, take a minute to familiarize yourself with the room. Also take a moment to pray over your classroom and for all the little ones you will be receiving. You may notice on the walls we have our emergency kit. This will be hanging on the door in every classroom along with our emergency exit routes and tornado procedures. You may also know our curriculum bin. They are on the counters of all of our classrooms. You will also find a curriculum in here, but we will also provide you one during huddle. Soon, stickers will begin to print and little ones will make their ways to their classrooms. When they arrive, greet them with a smile. A few things to remember. Never be alone with a child. If it's just you and a classroom leader in a classroom, please don't leave. We need 2 classroom leaders in the classroom at all times when children are present. If you need any assistance, you or your classroom leader can walkie a coordinator and we will get to you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for volunteering with us in KiDSCOR. We appreciate everything you do for us and all the little ones that come to our church. If you need anything at all, please reach out to me. You have my email and can't wait to hear from you.